This is Larry. This is May 6th, which is the sixth day of the May Leetcode challenge. So yeah, let's solve this problem and let's get at it. May Yeah, while this is loading, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave it, how you did. Majority element. Given an array of size n, find the majority element. Majority element is the element that appears more than n over 2 times the fourth. You may assume that array is not empty and the majority element always exists in the array. It's a bit of a weird question. There are a couple of ways to do it. I don't know what's the ideal way to solve this problem in terms of an interview and stuff like this, because in competitive programming, this is a even more trivial problem because you could just put everything in a hash table or a hash map in your favorite programming language, and then just keep counting each time and just check it that is more than n over 2 times, right? But it turns out that and that will take O of n space and O of n times, give or take, right? But the thing is that there's actually a famous algorithm that does, I forget, what is the name of that algorithm? Give me a second. Moore has the famous Moore of the Border Moore has an algorithm that solves this problem by noting that it's a little bit tricky and it's kind of hard to go through, but so I definitely encourage you to do research on your own just to fill in the gaps a little bit. But the idea is you kind of I think it's called the Moore's either majorities algorithm or voting algorithm, and Moore is pretty famous in general. So that Moore, but basically, if the majority element exists in the array, and in this case it guarantees to exist, then all you have to do is check if for every element that you get. Check to see if that element is a majority or not. And the way that you do that is how that. Sorry, it's a little bit of time, so it's been a while. But basically, for each candidate, if you will, for the majority, you just go through the loop through the. Yeah, I don't. So okay, instead of me trying to struggle about you describing this, I would just look up Moore's voting algorithm because it's not something that I would use because it's a cute level of trivia, and maybe on an interview you could talk about it, but maybe just be honest and say that it's an algorithm that's not used and is really it comes up rarely. And for competitive programming, I've already talked too much, and you would have already solved it if you just use a hash table. So that's which actually seems like a little sad because like 3 of these previous problems or something like that has a hashing thing, um, as a hash table thing. But let's just do it that way then. So again, we just to be a little bit, just to be a little. So we could do it the lazy way, which is like something like C is equal to collections counter again, which counts each number in nums for you and then put it in a hash table, and then for k in c dot keys, if I guess we actually just do items. Let's type it out a little bit. Oops. If y is greater than or more than, okay, c over 2, and then from here you can actually just change put the on the other side, uh, then return key, and then that's it. In theory, we probably want to throw an exception here. We'll just return -1 maybe. Yeah, and this does a two-pass algorithm because constructing the counters list will take two pass, and you can actually do this in one pass. See if you could, challenge yourself to do it in, for fun. I would challenge everyone to try to do it in one pass. It's not that hard of a stretch goal, and then maybe read up on Moore's algorithm, and then just yeah, see if you could do that in, you could implement that. That Moore's algorithm is actually not that hard to understand, as I remember it, but it just take a little bit of learning. But what you do is, oh, I didn't submit it yet. Let me submit it before I talk about it. Maybe the only thing that I actually maybe check the off by one a little bit. Yeah. Did I mess that up? That's not really an off by one because it's 2 times 2 is 4, right? Oh. Okay, well, let's take a look. Am I using items incorrectly? Maybe I am. So yeah, so another thing is obviously, that's why you should always use a language that you're familiar with and comfortable with so that you know these things offhand. Yeah, A is 2. 2 times. Oh, that's me being silly. That's not length of n, it's length of nums. And I was doing the length of the C, so it's just the number of keys instead of the number of. So definitely double. That's why I check your answers before you submit it. And somehow I got the first 2 correct, which sometimes you get lucky, quote unquote lucky. But yeah, you have to be a little bit careful. And thankfully, this was not a contest because then I've been really sad for about a week because I did something as silly as that. But yeah, see if you could do this in either one loop and then use Moore's algorithm. And for Moore's algorithm, you just find a number of candidates and then go through the list more than once. Yeah. And that's all I have for this problem, I think, because I really don't want to go over Moore's algorithm. If you feel like if you want to hear more about Moore's algorithm, let me know, and maybe I'll go over in a future video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this problem was easy for you. And we will, do another one tomorrow. Bye bye.